We're recording now. Okay, moving up again. Share the screen. All right, getting into week 2. Okay, oh, that's week 3. Is that week 3? Yeah, week 2, right there. Okay, right here. So here you can see the link for the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and you can go at any time, and then the video would be here too. As soon as I record this video here, I will post the video in there. All right, let's get started here and just move this up here. Okay, what is self-defense? All right, hopefully the internet loads up real quick, just a little bit. These always take a bit of a, okay. All right, definition. I would say the most important, okay, so you can read through this. Sometimes I read with you, but the most important point in this slide is the use of, or let's say the key word is the use of reasonable force. Okay, yes, you can defend yourself or others, okay, family or somebody else from bodily harm, from an aggressor, but as long as you use reasonable force. And that's where actually, lies the problem. Maybe the reasonable force, your perception of reasonable force is completely different of the judge, right? But again, it's important, to understand this, so you do not put yourself in trouble. But again, if everything is genuine, you're really trying to defend yourself, and that's all you got. For example, for myself, being I was a let's say a mixed martial artist, and I used to fight MMA professionally, did all these competitions here and there, and all the stuff. Now, it's odds are against me, right? So if you get into an altercation, and so most likely someone is going to say that I do not use reasonable force if hurt someone badly. Okay. And the problem is this, lie on this second paragraph. Like most of you, it's most common that self-defense is a common defense used by a person accused of assault, battery, or homicide, right? So and that's the problem. A lot of times, is the bad making hard for the good, right? So the people taking advantage of that, they can use the self-defense. How you say argument, but right. So let's say someone is punching you, right? And if you go and grab a bat and start chasing the person, now the person ran away, right? And you start chasing, now is no longer, just an example, no longer a how you say a reasonable force. Okay, now you're chasing, and all the stuff. We're gonna touch other aspects in there. Okay, but generally is try to control yourself, defend yourself, but pretty much don't kill anyone, right? Unless they're trying to kill you. That's pretty much what the whole class will be here. Okay. Now, it's all perception, right? So someone can have a butcher knife or a gun, okay, and threatening you. Then it's a different story. Then you may be perceived differently. But if somebody just carry a gun, someplace you can carry a gun, right now here in California, but you can have a concealed weapon, and then now you feel that it's a threat, and then you shoot at a person, or start a fighting. Now you're not into your right of self-defense. Okay, which will be the next slide. So self-defense cannot include killing or greatly body harm to defend property unless personal danger is also involved, as is the the case in most burglaries, muggings, or vandalism. Okay. And the word here is personal danger, right? So somebody tries to rob you, and if you have a, but again, it's always subjective, right? And you have the sense that this person might be shooting you, uh, even if you're giving away your objects, and somehow you defend yourself and end up killing the person. Now you're going to have to prove, right, that you. That's pretty much what that says. Okay. The right of self-defense. You have the right to use force, even deadly if necessary, okay, to defend yourself and others, okay? And this is broadly accepted into the criminal justice. I'm sorry. States differ on the scope of what may be considered appropriate use of force and when it may be applied. So again, the word here is subjective. Okay, we're being redundant here, guys, but again, you can't stress enough, because I have the right to defend myself, and I end up doing something that actually is not going to cover you. Okay. The specific rules pertaining to self-defense vary from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. One should check the laws of a particular jurisdiction to understand the specific requirements for a claim of self-defense. It's good to read, but it's not like you're reading in order to do something. No, you just read just in case. It's good to, since it's the classes here. Maybe you live in California, maybe you do not live in California. You're living now because the school, or for many reasons, right? Of course, now it's online. You could be anywhere. So if you're in your state, different state, check in there. Maybe when you come back here to California, you see what's California says. Okay, and in here. That's another good point here. It's self-defense law is way more complicated than it appears. Okay, it involves a lot of things, so it's not as simple. Okay, uh, in the states differ rules here. Okay, the rules differ between the states, but again, the considerations are largely the same. Okay, let me see here. Okay, the imperfect self-defense. This one here, the word here again is perception. Like I said, someone comes, let's say you're in the bar and you see someone with a pocket knife, and somehow you understand that that person it's a threat to you, and you start, getting to an altercation with the person, and maybe you have a knife and you stab the person. No, extreme, let's say, analogies, extreme examples, but again, this is called imperfect self-defense. Okay, you perceived as a threat, but was not. Okay, and of course there are witnesses and all this. Now this last paragraph: imperfect self-defense does not excuse a person from the crime of using violence, but it can lessen the charges and penalties involved. So again, it could be some, manipulating the law, right? That's the bad side, right? So, and again, not every state recognizes imperfect self-defense, however. Next one, proportional response. And we already touched base on that, which is you got to match the level of the threat. Okay, so if somebody is using deadly force, then of course you can use deadly force to defend yourself. But again, you could land into the imperfect self-defense. You might just perceiving that the person is there to kill you, and then you end up killing the person wrongly, right? So again, you can be in trouble. First and foremost, make sure you defend yourself and you survive. Okay, and you go back home. But truly, most of the trouble that you maybe would be involved, okay, will how you say, be avoided. Okay, if you have the last slide, we're going to talk about it. if you have a little bit more of the street smart, if you avoid it, right? It's not just say, okay, I can defend myself, I'm supposed to, and this, and I then again, there's so much trouble with the attorney and law, and okay, that could be easily avoided if you just do not get into altercation, say to someone, yeah, it's okay, you're right, and move on, right? Because I tell you, people, especially now with COVID, some, not all, not most of people, thank God, but COVID brought the worst out of many people. Okay, so you see people angry, it's crazy. We're seeing right now. Hopefully that will change. That's not going to be the new norm for for the people of our country, our community. The duty to retreat, that says that you should, but again, let me just start with this. Many states still require that a person make an attempt to escape the situation before applying lethal force. Okay, so, or even before the using of force. Again, and we need to check, and I believe California requires the duty to retreat. It's just like you don't want to engage into the fight. It's just so you have the duty to say, hey, no, we're going to stop. Or even before, or even during the fight, you say, hey, time to stop. Of course, if the person does not stop, you have to continue defending yourself, but you have, uh, uh, this duty to stop, the violence. Okay, that's what it's for. Not all the states adopt this how do you say, statement. Okay, now stand your ground. That this is the opposite of the duty to retreat. Okay, so in contrast to the duty the duty to retreat, many states have enacted the so-called stand your ground laws. These laws remove the duty to retreat and allow for a claim of self-defense, even if the claimant to did nothing to try to flee, okay, from the threat of violence. Okay, as mentioned above, this is more common rule when situations involve non-lethal force. Okay, state self-defense laws are split on the stand your ground principle when lethal force is at play. What is that? If let's say you subdue someone, right? You the stronger, the guy attacked you, you're defending yourself, you subdue someone, but you still kill the person. Probably you're not going to be, saved by this stand your ground. Okay, it's you had the chance to avoid that. You subdue the person. But if you, of course, if you're in an imminent situation, somebody's going to kill you, then that's when you only can use, right? You can stand your ground, as it says here, in situations that involve non-lethal force, right? So if you're not, let's say it's an altercation and you want to stand your ground and nobody's going to kill anyone, and we never know, right? But and then you can stand your ground. Okay. I believe, yeah. Lastly, on this, the legality of a self-defense is the Castle doctrine. Okay, that allows people to defend their homes against an intruder, okay, through lethal force. But again, we have so many of these other things, right? The duty to retreat, the proportional response, and okay, so you have to be very, very careful. Of course, somebody breaks into your house, you're there. You when you're inside your house, your state of awareness is very low, right? So you're not uh, in your house, then somebody breaks in there, so this person is up to no good, and of course whatever you have there to push the person off your home, you would use, and you be such on a stress. uh, I haven't been in a situation like that, someone just break into my house. It's tough to say, yeah, you have to respond like that, right? So that's the castle doctrine is in there that
I have a question.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
I have a question about that one.
Yes.
Oh, does the duty to retrieve still imply for that if someone breaks in like to your home?
I would say so. I would say so. Of course, depends on the state, right? But I would say so. Like, again, if somebody breaks into your house and you subdue the person, right? It's not because the castle doctrine. You would be just required. Probably in California, that's what it says, right? So if somebody, let's put it this way: if somebody breaks into your house, California, okay, because we have a sense how our state is. Um, I need to get better. I actually can get better response from that California wise, right? But let's say somebody breaks into your house, you subdue the person. Let's say the person's on the floor and you pinning the person, and then now out of the sudden you decide to kill the person. Uh, you can get in trouble. Definitely, you can get in trouble. It's just, of course, it's uh, things will need to be proven, right? That you actually
Yeah.
person had no longer were no longer in a threat of killing you. Things will have to be proven. But again, but once you kill someone, you can, right? And I remember watching this it was no, it wasn't a video, it was actually an audio record. This lady was with the police, and then she's calling the police. Oh, this guy's banging on my door, he's trying to get up. I'm asking him, I'm asking him to leave, and he's not leaving. And she said, I'm gonna shoot if you get in, right? And the police, like, "Oh, please make sure he's not," giving them different how you say, ways to maybe solve the problem. And you can hear the screaming outside, someone trying to break into her house. And then when the guy finally get in, and she goes, "Oh, he's in, I'm gonna shoot him," and then you hear the person shooting. But again, is there, she's asking the guy to leave, she's asking all this stuff, right? And you got to be very careful what it's said, right? Yeah, yeah, come in, I'm gonna shoot you. That's especially somebody else hears that, it might be in serious trouble for sure. Again, it's this is something to, like, to protect yourself, not just to make sure you go around killing other people, in a sense, right? But again, it's tough to judge. And that's why we are just touching base on this, right? On this, we're not going to be so profound on that, because they're more into laws. Someone who's studying the criminal justice can be helpful on that too. But I think this is a good to know that our main objective here is trying to avoid all this trouble by first avoid situations, avoid bad places, and making better choice. Not sure if I responded, but I believe I did. Let me know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So now, other important points that no one covers when talking self-defense. Okay. Now we're talking about the entitlement. Okay. And let's say couple, and I'm going to use much of my own experience, because I'm aware of the self-defense, and I see what other people could do and they don't do. I like to acknowledge people. I like to, even I don't know the person, I like to look at everyone around me, at a grocery store, in the parking lot. I like to acknowledge the person. And sometimes I nod, sometimes people don't nod back, but it's just meaning, I see you, I acknowledge you, and and I'm observing you. Okay, if you're getting close to me or not, and things like that. Sometimes we live in so good neighborhoods, like, again, like it's supposed to be like that, and we just kind of, in our own minding our own business, and you forget to look around what other people could be doing to you, and what other people could be up to no good, things like that. Now on your phone, right? It happened in the college state. I was backing up from the parking lot, and one student was walking back. I actually didn't see, and I was right on the blind spot. And then I stepped on the brake, when I saw the person, and he was on his phone and he kept on going, on his phone, like not even like, yes, you should stop, right? You should stop. If you hear some screaming at the kid, some kids playing here on the back. So the mentality is like, you should stop, and if you do not stop, it's your problem, right? Well, that's true. I can be in trouble, but you also can hurt yourself, right? God forbid something happens, go run over you and hurt your knee. Maybe you're an athlete. Now you got to go through surgery, skip a couple competitions just because you should. Like, look, right? It's not, you can't assume, right? You step on the how you say, on a crosswalk. People step and they're not even looking into the sides anymore, because you just step because they assume other people are supposed to stop the car. But what if the guy is a crazy guy? What if the guy is under the influence? What if, then you just would be somebody else, right? What if it's a guy actually trying to run over people, like, some people are doing nowadays, some, in Europe, and we saw here too. What if just, this entitlement, okay, the things that like happen, that's everything is good in our country and most of our communities, okay? Don't how you say, don't assume it's going to be everywhere, okay? Make sure you have a little sense of awareness at all the times, okay? Like when you start a boxing, okay, a boxing match, the referees go and says, what the rules, don't punch here and there, and then he finishes and says, protect yourself at all the times, touch gloves, and let's begin. So protect yourself at all the times. That's important, okay? With someone, that friend that is not a friend, right? This is all self-defense. Again, we're not just into the altercation, okay? How to the technique when somebody's punching you, somebody grabs you. We're gonna have that too, but it's not only that, right? Health. Is your health a way of self-defense? Like the way you treat yourself, treat your body. No, I'm not talking about training, right? Exercise, just your health, what you eat. Okay, are you really defend yourself for some other harm that you actually can cause yourself, right? So now it's self-defense against yourself, against your will, all right? If not, if you think that is room for improvement, and we're not here to judge anyone, please. If you need, we all have improvements, and just make it the first step of this class. Okay, I'll be very happy, right? If somehow we can touch you, just you on that man that say level, do it, right? So good. Now I'm trying to eat a little bit better, okay, a little bit more healthier, okay, at least in this course, during this course. Hopefully you do for the rest of your life, right? Training or not training, okay? Again, I'm not just saying a self-defense training. Again, can you run? Okay, could you escape from an attempt? Okay, could you, let's say you learn the techniques, but do you realize that you can get tired as you defending yourself? When you get tired, what would you do? Maybe if you train, if you walk a little bit more, maybe if you run, maybe if you, of course, work out in general, but you should walk a little bit more. Maybe you would have a better way or condition to how you say, survive an attack or gain time until someone comes. Okay. Now foresee. Can you foresee the trouble? Can you foresee things coming? If not, then we land into the naiveness. Of course, that can happen, and that's why when we're gonna talk about sexual abuse and stuff, you see lots of the especially in college, we have groups, right? There tend to be more the victims, okay, and all this stuff. Why? Because there is a sort of naiveness in there, okay. But again, you can just a little jump here where you put the choices, right? But previous experience, if you have previous experience, if you heard of someone, or if you have read the statistics, okay, of the place that I am now living. Okay, it's a lot of home burglary. Oh, maybe okay, I gotta watch out, when I'm getting to my house, because I might find someone in there, or maybe I need to lock my place a little better, and all this stuff, right? And so on. Okay, but again, choices. Okay, it's also a huge point here. Do you make the right choices to defend yourself? Let's say you decide to leave your house, which you all should do, right? I mean, you should not leave it. No, not at this moment of COVID, but let's say extract COVID out of the equation. With COVID now, you do what you think it's right for your life. But let's say no COVID, you decide to go, I don't know, to a restaurant, right? And then you sit at the bar there, and all right, you already left your house. Now your sense of awareness should be a little bit should arise. Okay, not okay because you're not at home, not in a comfortable anymore, a comfort zone anymore. Okay, you're there, and then you decide to take a couple drinks and things like that, and then somehow you end up in an argument with someone. Okay, well then you have a choice to stop and just say, yeah, yeah, that's okay, never mind, yes, you're right, and move on and leave. Okay, of course ego plays a huge part in there. We all have. It's tough to, okay, but you could do that. But also you could engage an altercation, right? And then you step out, and then the people fight on the parking lot and things, and then next thing you know, people are getting stabbed, and or actually happens in Arizona. They put the parking lot away from the bars, because when the parking lot were close to the bars, that it was this area that I was reading about. When the parking lot was closed, when people get into some sort of fighting or argument, they were going to their car, grab the gun, and come back and shoot at the person. Now, when the parking is a bit far, they have a longer time to think and decide, make a better choice to do not, how we say, ruin their lives. Okay, so again, choices play a big play here. Okay, big role here. Okay, traveling. Oh, I skipped. Sorry here. Clothing, and please, this one is very delicate. Do not, then especially from women. Do not get me wrong. I have a daughter, and I think she has the right to dress the way she wants. Okay, but unfortunately, some countries, and then I go back here with traveling. Some countries, people are a little bit, are not a little bit. They think way different than us. All right, so and then you might have, get in trouble, okay, and being attacked because they perceive you being a bit provocative. So although, I think this is a horrible way to think, but some places happen. And funny thing, even people, even other women in those places say, yeah, yeah, it's being like, come on, right? This is not something that, and luckily, we don't have this too often in this country. Again, I really wish you. Of course, we can always try to change the world, and that's why it's something that you need to know if you want to engage or not. In other countries, when you go as you're a tourist, you're there to have a good time and not having any trouble, no one attacking you. Okay, so, but maybe you do want to change the world wherever you live. So I mean, then it's how you take your life. Here is just a tip, right? So make sure, for example, my country, Brazil, when I go there, I don't wear anyways, but maybe because I grew up in that sense. But you should, if you have a necklace, a gold, and people carry some stuff, even in your phone, sometimes walking on the street, you should be careful with that. Like leave it iPhone at home, leave it. People go and very common. They rob their watch uh, because they think things happen the same way in their country. Okay, so traveling is a big point in there. I don't know if you guys have the chance to travel a lot. I did, and okay, which is good that you actually understand all the worlds in a sense, right? So folks, the assignments, okay, I will open up for you guys, those who did not do it yet. You have assignment, week 1 assignment. This is week 2 assignment. Week 1 is go there, introduce yourself. They all have the same deadline, okay? Go there, introduce yourself. Second assignment is the syllabus quiz, okay? This is week 1. Most of you, 29 of you have done that already. We have 35 people, 6 of you haven't done that. Assignment 1. This is assignment 2. Let me put it here, assignments, week 2. Let me just put it here, make sure week 2 assignments, okay? You're gonna have a quiz about the first chapter and second chapter of the book, Verbal Judo. Oh, I didn't get the book yet. All right, so go ahead on that here on the content. All right, let me move up down here. On the content here. Okay, content, or actually in the media. Okay, click on the media in there. Course gallery. Okay, and that is a video. Judo, Verbal Judo, chapter 1 and 2 summary. It's me just kind of saying what's on it, and you know what they touch in that particular case. Okay, particular 2 chapters. All right. So let me go back here to the. I think that's it. No. All right. And let me go back. Sorry. What is this? Lights? No, not this. Okay, since I got off here, I don't know if we can come back to it. Let's see. Yes, I got it. All right, so going back to the last slide. Reflection on verbal judo and what is self-defense. So go on the discussion board. You can do it this after I finish this lecture here. We stop the recording and we jump right into the Tabata. Okay, so if you how you say, after the Tabata, will be taking 15 minutes. It's about 15 minutes. And then after that, if you want to go ahead and do the quizzes and all the stuff, or the reflection, again, if the quiz is not up yet, okay, at this moment it's not, but so I will make sure you can, like say, use the last 20-30 minutes of this class towards this. Okay, I know you have other classes. I know how things can get so much of assignments, and don't get me wrong, I'm doing also some courses online and an MBA, and it can get crazy. Okay, so let's see here. We'll all right, so for this week, reflection on a discussion. Actually, let me do this discussion. I'll do this right now. Okay, week 1, week 2, make visible right there. And let me see something here. Edit, just make sure it's a assessment. Restrictions. All right. January 31st, 20, oops, actually today, 25th. Okay, starts now, and here, 31st and Sunday. Okay, that's it. It's playing calendar. That's it. Yep. Save and continue. Good. You can go ahead and do that. And then we have our quizzes. I'll leave it open. Make it visible to all users. Due on January 31st. Okay, yes, it's right there. The quiz is on. All right. So, folks, let's. How you guys feel? Are you tired? We're gonna do Tabata next week. You tell me. Let me stop it here. The recording.